Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, thank you for joining us. My name is Sienna, and this is Quantum Convergence, where shadows dissolve and the soul remembers. This is a space where the veil lifts, soul fragments return, and quantum convergence begins. Hi, friends. Welcome back to the channel. I am so happy that you're here. I wasn't going to do a message today, but it is almost after midnight and the universe was calling me. So I am heeding the call. So the message that is coming through is connected to something that I saw yesterday and I meant to do a video on and I just didn't get to it. But what I saw in the sky, it was a beautiful blue sky, and there was this big white fluffy cloud. And next to this cloud was another cloud, which was the complete opposite. It was dark and it just looked, the two had this extreme duality within them. And as I'm looking at these clouds and they're moving across the horizon, and the winds are shifting and they're changing, and I'm noticing that this cloud formation is changing and they're kind of coming into each other, and they're melting into each other is what it looks like. And it creates almost this yin yang effect because of the contrast between the two clouds. And it made me think of, it's so important for us to recognize duality for what it is, which is the different energies that we carry within ourselves when it comes to our divine masculine and our divine feminine, which is representative of the divine feminine being within the emotional and the nurturing side, and also connecting to creativity and expression, and also receptivity. And then there's the divine masculine side, which is more about action and protection and being connected into the physical, logical, analytical side. And what I was picking up from this as I'm watching these cloud formations coming together, and there's so much contrast there, but they came together so beautifully. And it was interesting how, remembering that when we are able to create unity within the divine masculine and feminine aspects of self, we are ending the karmic loops that are created from cause and effect. And the way that we can bring everything back into balance again is by bringing attention to the aspects of ourselves where we are too much in our masculine energy or too much in our feminine energy. What I'm being called to share is this is connected to the twin flame dynamic, and it's also connected to the identical frequency dynamic. So, your twin flame can be anyone. It doesn't have to be a romantic connection. It can be a spiritual connection. Now, most often, the twin flame is on a more of a romantic connection, or it feels that way when you first meet your twin flame, but you quickly realize that the interactions between you both are catalysts for growth and catalysts for awakening and diving into the parts of ourselves that we had blocked or we had cut ourselves off from because of extreme wounding in our formative years. Now, I wasn't really going to get too much into this. What this was really going to be about was how, when we are continuously seeking for this balance in another person, or we're seeking external validation through someone else to fulfill these parts of ourselves that we haven't yet found within ourselves, what we're doing, especially in the twin flame dynamic, is we are putting this pressure on ourselves to carry both frequencies of the divine masculine and the feminine. A lot of times, divine feminines can have a tendency to take on the energy of the divine masculine in their life. And what that does is it takes everything out of balance, because it puts the divine feminine in masculine energy and it puts the masculine in divine feminine energy. And that can be very confusing, because we are meant to have these specific dynamics within ourselves, and bringing this balance within ourselves to help us navigate our spiritual experiences and our physical experiences, meaning here in the 3D. We are meant to have these balances within ourselves. And when one or the other either doesn't step into that balance, or the other has a tendency to overtake and try to take on the frequency of both, then that can create a extreme duality within the connection. And I think that might be the main point of what it is that the universe wanted me to share, is that when we are looking for completion, we're looking for something to have a final result, right? What are we doing? We're constantly in evolution. So if we're wanting to have one specific end result, it's almost unrealistic, because technically, as energy, we are constantly evolving. We're like fractals, evolving. And we have the ability to choose what it is that we want to choose. We have free will. We have free will to create and to manifest and to experience anything that we want to experience in this current timeline. Okay, so I had to pause the video for a minute, but that is where I think the universe wanted me to leave that anyways. And this second part of our video today was showing me how the feminines are being asked to walk the spiral. And many of us are being asked to walk the spiral, but the way that the feminines are being asked to focus only on their next step, and as they walk, they realize that the only way that they can walk is toward ascension. They are not capable, the spiral will not let the feminines look back into the past. They are being called to step up and into the mission that they have been preparing lifetimes for. And this is a specific message for a specific collective. I don't know how many people this is going to be for, but if you are here and you are listening, it is more than likely for you. And if not, just take what resonates and you can leave the rest. Now, when it comes to these feminines have had no choice but to surrender in almost all aspects of their life. They have been asked to let go of family, of biological family, of friends, of homes, of careers, of aspects of themselves that they thought were part of them. They have been asked to completely wipe the slate clean and surrender into their mission that they have been being prepared for lifetimes. Now, most of these feminines didn't understand or don't understand the depth of their mission and their purpose, and that they have been a catalyst throughout most of this specific lifetime, and maybe other lifetimes too. But what it means to be a catalyst can be incredibly overwhelming to process and to even grasp the level at which you are asked to surrender everything that you love, everything that you believed was a part of you. And also, you realize that you are a catalyst to other people's awakening. So people come into your life and they go out of your life. It's like they come in for a reason and they're there for a season and then they're gone. And you're not meant to hold on to some of these relationships, because these relationships weren't meant to evolve beyond you being the catalyst for them. Now, being a catalyst is pretty painful because you have to come to terms with the fact that you are the one that is awakening others, and you're also going through your own awakening. You're figuring out your own problems. You're finding the balance within yourselves. Maybe you're on the twin flame journey. Maybe you're experiencing all of the spiritual ascension experiences that you can have as you're moving through and beginning to understand the depth of your mission, your purpose. And we, as within this collective, we have begun to realize that this aspect of self, being a catalyst for others, comes with a lot of solitude, and it comes with a lot of downtime. And it also is incredibly rewarding, because while you are going through everything and you're growing and you're helping others grow, you're discovering how to navigate so many different aspects of self: the shadow self, the light self, the spiritual side, the mental side, the emotional side. You're learning how to navigate every aspect of self, and you're learning how to guide others through these aspects of themselves too. Now, something that I'm being shown right now is this spiral that you're walking. It's a spiral of ascension. That's why you can't go backwards. Every step you take forwards, you can't step backwards. You only continue to step up. You might come to another turn of the spiral that's asking you to reflect within yourself and figure out what it is that is out of balance, to bring yourself back into balance. Because as a catalyst, you're asked to walk this path of empathy, compassion, truth, kindness, loyalty. You're also asked to be firm with your boundaries. You're asked to be strong and courageous and brave. You're asked to be a warrior. You're asked to be a shield maiden. You're asked to connect to your flame, to your fire. You're asked to be flowing like the rivers, like the waters, and moving in flow. You're asked to trust. You're asked to believe. You're also asked to live a life where you only trust the universe. And a lot of things within the physical realm are difficult for many of us who are catalysts because we reside between both realms. We reside in the physical and we reside in the spiritual. We're not only a bridge, but we have the ability to walk between realms. And because we have this ability to walk between realms, we don't relate in the same way to the ones in the physical or the ones in the spiritual, because we're grounded in the earth, but we're also grounded in our spiritual side too, which can feel very confusing for people, especially if they are only able to grasp either the physical aspect of being a being a human being, or they can only grasp the aspect of being a spiritual being, right? So you have to find that balance in between. And most often, most of us are going to have a much easier time being balanced in the spiritual than we are going to be in the physical. That is why many of us are divine feminines, is because our grounding comes from the spiritual realms. It comes from the emotional, right? It comes from our creativity. It comes from our ability to connect into the higher realms, to receive messages, to channel, to be guides, to be light workers, to be healers, to be a voice, to share our art, to share our writing, to share everything that makes us unique, and in the ways that we are meant to assist in raising the consciousness of the collective into the 5D, while also trying to maintain in some sense of stability and understanding of this 3D world that we're in. So I feel like hopefully you're going to resonate with this message, and I won't get too much further into this, but I felt like it was important for this collective of feminines to recognize the power. I don't want to just say power, because it's not about power, but it's about the courage and the bravery and the ability to face adversity and the ability to trust yourself and your intuition and all of your spiritual gifts, and know that you have these traits that are yours, that were given to you throughout your experience, throughout your life, throughout the things that you have gone through, that have molded you, that have shaped you, that have taught you how to flow. And what I was shown is I was shown a raging river, and us feminines within this collective, we are a raging river with rapids, but we are also the calm, beautiful stream, right? The calm waters. But we can erode soil. We can create new paths through land, through earth. We are capable of rebuilding, of nourishing, of flowing. One thing we can't do is we can't cling. We can't cling to the rocks, right? Like, we can't ground there as if moss can cling to a rock. We're water, so we wash over the rocks. We might erode the rocks or reshape the rocks or reshape the land, reshape the riverbed, because we are capable of shifting frequency and emotion and teaching others how to access these parts of themselves. So I hope that you enjoyed this message and that it was helpful for you. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. If you haven't yet, I am so appreciative of you. I really enjoy when you leave comments and whenever you share anything about your story. And I had someone that shared something that they wrote, and that really touched me, that they wrote something after they had listened to one of the channeled messages. So if you have anything to share, please do. I really like for you to share your energy with the collective, and thank you for this community. We're growing, and I can feel the energy is starting to become stronger, and I'm starting to find out that we are within this collective connected to the divine feminine, the divine masculine, within the twin flame collective, and this identical frequency collective. It isn't what I was expecting, but I will follow what the universe guides me to share with you. Now, I will also be sharing other messages that come through and talking more about shadow work and quantum hypnosis and things like that that I do um, in my regular day to day life. So, if you're interested in any of that, or if you are interested in shadow work, reach out. You can access my website in the description box down below. I think this is the first time that I've shared this, but if you are interested, reach out. I do a lot of remote work, so I would be happy to guide you in any way. Okay. Thank you so much again. And I hope that you have a wonderful day, evening, or morning, wherever you are in the world. Until soon, goodbye.